If you want to hit Masters in ranked Brawl Stars, then you need to watch this video to find out the best ways you can improve in your gaming playstyle so you can get Masters in ranked every season. I'm Mystically 19, and I usually hit Legendary and Masters every single season, just depending on how much I play. If you need any tips on improving, or any tips on anything in general, like who to upgrade, who's good right now, make sure you check out my channel because I have videos that cover all of those topics. Starting with our first tip, which is to play with Power 11 Brawlers. The difference between Power 9 Brawlers and Power 11 Brawlers is actually way more than you think, because you can get not only more gears, but hypercharges as well. Your teammates don't want you to play Power 9s, and probably not even Power 10s either, because it just makes you seem like a worse player, and overall doesn't help your team because your brawler isn't as strong as it could be. You probably don't like it whenever your teammates play Power 9s or 10s, so you shouldn't either. Adding on to this, if you want to upgrade multiple people at the same time, I recommend not doing that and focusing on one person at each time, because it just takes way longer to push, say, 4 people to Power 11 than just pushing one person to Power 11. This could be the reason you might find it hard to kill other brawlers, and especially if you look over on the other team, they have a Power 9 Tick. Tick already has a low amount of HP and definitely should not be Power 9 because the hypercharge really carries Tick, and without the hypercharge, Tick is basically nothing. So make sure you are playing Power 11 Brawlers. Power 10 is probably a little acceptable, but probably play Power 11 Brawlers. With that, if you want a higher power team in general, I recommend playing with a team, a pre-built team. I know I say this in a lot of videos, but I can't stress it enough. You need to be playing with teammates because you can never trust random teammates. They could be really bad or have really underleveled brawlers, or maybe they have one Power 11 brawler and then that brawler ends up getting banned, and then what are they going to do in your match? You just don't want them to screw you over like that. So I recommend playing with people that are the same skill level, if not better than you. And if you don't have anyone to play with, make sure you hop in my Discord because a ton of people from all over the world are there, and I'm sure you'll find someone from where your servers are, and the vibes are really nice there. The community is super chill. Okay, so you've gotten phase 1 down, which is building a team and upgrading your brawlers. Now let's move on to phase 2, drafting. Don't just draft your favorite brawler. I'm going to walk you through how I very strategically drafted my brawler for this round. The first 3 things I look at when I go into a ranked match is the game mode, the map, and the modifier. I go off and ban Sandy because Dueling Beetles is a very medium range map, and since Sandy has the best hypercharge in the game, arguably, I banned Sandy. My teammates at least are not dumb, so they get rid of, well, now he picked Shelly. If he went with Spike, that would have been a better pick, but I guess he decided to play Spike. So Ems was a really good ban, so I'm glad that happened. Now it's my pick, and I'm thinking to play anyone who I can take advantage of with this heal modifier. Go ahead and look in the map one more time just to remember it. Then I go with Leon. Leon is not usually my best hot zone pick. I usually will go with Bo or Sandy or someone like that. But since Leon can heal whenever he's invisible, I just thought the healing would go crazy with the extra buff. Probably wouldn't have picked Leon if I knew my teammate was going to play Poco, but since we both are healers, that's even better for me. I also went with Leon because it's easy to sneak up on that Bo, and I knew he was playing Bo, and I always win in 50-50s with Bo. Even better for me, they had a Power 9 Tick, which is really good. I can 2-tap. I switched to the gadget Lollipop Drop because my teammates can get invisibility and I can place it behind the invincible walls. And then I run the 2 seconds longer Mythic gear and the shield. The shield's good because since Leon regens right as he gets hit when he's invisible, if he heals back to max, he'll get a little tiny extra bonus from the shield if it regenerates fast enough. Now we can move on to phase 3 of your match in Brawl Stars, which is actually playing. And I have a lot of tips here, so make sure you lock in and listen real quick. The next tip I really need to talk about is do not play aggressive. I say this in almost every single one of my videos. It's just because I can't stress it enough. If you are trying to fish kills off every single brawler you see, I guarantee you will have a lower KD than just trying to play passive, because it just never works and you'll just end up being in a 1v3 every single time you do it. Up until about 3 months ago, this used to be my biggest problem I ever struggled with in Brawl Stars, because I would always love to get kills and I just wouldn't play as a team with my teammates. If your teammates are pushing up to play as one aggressive team, then you can push up with them. I actually encourage that. But if they're playing passive and they're trying not to get killed in that moment, then you need to do the same, because if you're rushing, you are just leaving your teammates in a worse scenario than you would be if you just fell back. The next biggest thing you need to be focusing on in all of your matches is actually the arena. And not just where you're playing, but the other enemies and your teammates too. You need to know who's dead and how much health your teammates have, and also not only focus on the enemy's health, but how many shots it can take you to kill them, and how much ammo they have. If you're playing against someone with a super slow reload speed, try to bait out some ammo, and then you can go rush them and they have no ammo for a little bit. For example, if I bait out 3 Piper shots and she doesn't hit any of them, I can now go rush her and she can't even defend me because she has no shots. I would only recommend doing that though if none of her teammates are around. Knowing how many shots it takes to kill the enemy too is also pretty good to know, because if you're tap firing, then you know when to stop tap firing and you know when you'll kill them. This is key for someone like Leon, since he does a lot of damage but in small little pellets. So if I know it takes 2 shots to kill the tick on the other team, I know when to stop tap firing, and it just works out way better because ammo is key to getting kills in this game. Heading back to the banning phase real quick, if you're gonna play a thrower, make sure you probably ban a few wall breakers, because if the map's completely destroyed, you are almost useless as a thrower. So make sure you're playing the map, and if a lot of walls are broken, then you play a little bit more defensively. But if you're playing someone like Piper, make sure you open up the map and get your teammates, and you can even bait out your enemies to open up the map a little bit. You can do this by either getting Dynamite to throw his big super next to walls. You can get Piper to use her super if she's on the other team to go away. You can get Nanny's Peep to run into the wall, and there are just so many more I can think of. The next tip I have for you is actually double teaming a brawler, and what this means is that if you and your teammate both see a certain brawler that is like away from their teammates, you can both go after this brawler and get an even easier kill. Another term for this is pinching, which is doing the same thing, but you guys both come in at different angles, which also works really well. Another huge tip that you need to be working on always is dodging better. Dodging is one of the more pro things that you can do in this game, and that usually people that are newer to the game don't really focus on. When you're dodging, don't just move back and forth left to right. You need to be unpredictable. Make sure your enemies don't know where you're gonna go, and they don't know where to shoot either. Along with this, if you're playing aggressive, then the enemies can just tap fire you if you get too close, and you do not want that to happen. You also need to know what type of shot your brawler has. For example, the tick on the other team shoots in an upside down triangle with his shots, so I know that I can dodge to the back left or back right of the shot, and the mines will not hit me. Same with Bo. Bo always fires left to right, or if you're on the side, he fires bottom to top on the left or top to bottom on the right. So if you run in the same direction that his shots go in, then you should probably dodge him. If you want to dodge someone like Mr. P, just stay a little bit out of range and then pinch back into the shot after it bounces. If you need a video on how to dodge every single brawler in the game, just comment down below and I'll make that video for you. And the very last tip I have for you going into phase 4 after the match is focus on getting better. You can do this by watching yourself in the replays, and I know if you don't want to do that, that's okay, because I sometimes don't want to do that either, but it really does help you get better at the game. You can see how you messed up and if it was really just your teammate's fault. And that also brings me to the next part, which is don't blame every single thing on your teammates, because I'm sure more than half the time it wasn't your teammate's fault and you could have done something to prevent the loss or the bad play. Also, one quick tip, never fall for the Mandy trap that I just pulled on this other team. Basically, if Mandy has your super and you go into the second round, don't run right up those bushes that everyone runs up to. You'll just get yourself instantly killed, just like I instantly killed the other person. I hit all 3 of them that time. And then the last tip I have for you is to subscribe. I have many good videos on how to get better on my channel, and I post very often, so make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to not miss a single video on my channel. See you guys in the next one.